Welcome
Hi.
back to So I Was Like.
Yes, today we are doing a Zoom episode because we are not together in Nashville, sadly.
Yeah. Once we're in Nashville, we'll be recording in like a recording studio. And everyone's like super busy with like rush and like moving into college and stuff. So these are just gonna be like little short episodes. I guess we'll start off with like life updates. Becca, do you have any?
Literally, no, I do nothing all day. I don't
Yeah.
have a job, so I don't do
I have an
anything.
update on that girl that keyed that guy's car. If you guys are new listeners, on episode 5, we talked about how I went home with this guy and his ex-girlfriend was so mad. She like keyed his car in the middle of the night while I was there. She came into the bar that I work at because I have to work at a bar right now because I'm broke. And she came into the bar that I work at and sat at my fucking table and was rude to me all night. And then I poured her a drink and she looked at me and dumped it on the ground. And I was like, okay, cool.
That was so nice of you to pour her a drink in the first place.
Becca, like you know how I am. Like I hate when people don't like me for no reason. Like it actually like keeps me up at night. So I was trying to be really nice to her and like I'm not hooking up with him anymore. So like there's should be no reason for her to not like me.
Yeah, wasn't that like a long time ago, kind of?
Yeah, it was probably like 6 fucking weeks ago, dude. And like, yeah, over 6 weeks ago because we were in Nashville recording like after it had happened. And that was like a
It was
month and
on
a
my
half.
birthday, so that was 2 months ago. Yeah.
Yeah. And she still hates me because of it. And I have not even touched her ex-boyfriend.
Maybe she listened to the podcast and
I think she did. I called her ugly. So she
Oh,
couldn't
that's
listen to it.
why. I feel like, yeah, you did. And so maybe that's why she actually still hates you. But I don't know.
Well, I didn't technically call her ugly. I said she had pig-like features, which
Same
isn't
thing.
necessarily a bad thing.
I feel like Miss Piggy's kind of hot.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna get this out of the way because I have to swallow my pride here. Guys, you're gonna be shocked that I'm about to admit this, but I may have exaggerated a story a few weeks ago.
You exaggerated, I think. Are you talking about the
The server.
Yeah. I don't think you
Okay.
exaggerated. You just didn't have all the info.
I just didn't have all the info. Apparently, this guy asked the girl for her Instagram. Okay, backtrack. So I was out with this guy and some of my friends and Becca, and I went to the bathroom and I didn't, apparently, according to him, I wasn't even in the bathroom. I was talking to a girl that follows me and he like slipped his phone over to the server and like got her Instagram. And she told Becca told me I blocked him on everything. And then apparently he was only asking for her Instagram so his friend could like slide in. And I didn't believe him when he first told me that. But then after we recorded the episode, Becca told me she saw his friend and the server on a date.
I don't know. Yeah. Okay. How bad does that look though? Like when you're out with your friend meeting a guy that like she's into, or like it just seemed like you guys were together and then you turn away or whatever. I thought you were in the bathroom and he's getting the Instagram of my coworker because I worked at this bar. So yeah.
Exactly. So it still looks bad, but I do want to clarify and say that he didn't try to bang her, according to him. Do I feel bad that I exaggerated? Not really, because he's probably done other fucked up things I don't know about. So
Yeah.
I don't really feel bad, but I am just clearing his name for now.
I do not feel bad at all. I actually don't regret that story at all. Because you never know, like, where there's smoke, there's fire, especially with this guy. Like, no offense, never mind. I have to be on his good side. Never mind.
Okay. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Yeah, so I'm just clearing his name for now, but I'm sure he'll pop up in the future and actually do something fucked up.
Yeah, every like 10 minutes he does something else that's like kind of fucked up. So
exactly. It's always me just like reading it the wrong way, apparently.
Okay, yeah. I don't think it's your fault at all. But if we keep talking then about him, then I'm gonna like accidentally like insult him and I want to be on his good side.
So, all right. Becca's wearing an Alabama hat right now.
Oh yeah, because okay, so we asked everyone what we should talk about on this episode, and everyone, literally every single response that I got was talk about Alabama, because right now like Alabama Rush is huge on TikTok.
It's everywhere.
So I got an Alabama hat for this. Well, not really, but I wanted to wear it. But
But she
you,
is
Alyssa, went through actual
I went
rush
through
Alabama.
the second. So this year, I guess they're having the largest rush in like Alabama history. And I think it's like the history in like college in general. And then I went through like, I guess what is now the second biggest like sorority rush at Alabama. And I think like in the history of sororities. I don't know. Should I just like walk everyone through like the process? Like,
Begging you to walk us through. I'm so obsessed with it right now, and I want to hear from someone that's actually been through it.
okay, should I walk you through it? Okay, so as I walk through it, I'm gonna tell you what it's like on like the PNM side and then what it's on as like an active because I went through it on both ends.
Okay.
So I guess the main thing going through it as like a PNM, I'll just go through like the each process. So ice water teas, those are the first, that's the first day. So you just go into the house and everyone goes to every single house and you talk to like 2 or 3 girls and it's basically one day. There's super short parties, super short conversation. Going through it as an active, I already realized that they already know who they're dropping during ice water teas. So
Wait,
you're
really?
talking, yeah,
Like while you're talking to them, they already know if they're gonna drop you or
yeah.
not?
They already know if like you're coming back the next day or not during ice water teas. I'm pretty sure this year and last year you did not talk one-on-one with a girl during ice water teas, and they're saying it's because of like COVID. But I wouldn't be surprised if in the future they just eliminate it completely, just because they already knew who they were keeping and who they were dropping.
How do they know? Is it from
So when you register for Rush, you have to upload headshots, your resume, 2 recommendations for each sorority, and your transcripts.
headshots, resume? Okay, so it's like applying for a job.
Yeah, it's basically like applying for a job or like applying to school, basically. Except now you have to add like headshots.
And you have wait, did you say you have to have like letters, recommendations from
Yeah,
like
so you have to find an alumni from each sorority. There's 18 sororities on campus. You have to find 2 alumni from each sorority and
two
have them write a recommendation.
two from each sorority?
Yes, I did not have a single recommendation because I had no idea like what rush was like. I honestly like really lucked out and had like a good rush. I don't really know why, like why, because like my GPA was decent, but not what they look for. They usually look for like a 3.5, 3.6. And my grading scale at my high school was skewed. So maybe they like took that into consideration. Um, but yeah, they already know who they're cutting based off of just your GPA alone. If you don't have a 3.0, you're probably not getting invited to many houses back.
I don't know why this is like so fascinating to me. I went to like a party school, so we had Rush, but it wasn't like real and it was kind of a joke.
Mhm.
And Alabama Rush is like the mecca or whatever it's called of all rushes. Like it's so fascinating. So when you were like talking to people during Rush, did you feel like you were being like super judged, or was like people were being like fake nice to you when they were talking to you?
I guess it depends. Like you could walk into a house on your ice water tea day, so your first day, and you know immediately like if you're one of their top girls, which is another thing going in as an active. I know not every house at Bama has like tops, but the house I was in did. So starting from September before you rush. So I rushed in 2017. Starting in September of 2016, they had already started looking at girls they knew were going to Alabama for the next year. So like rush ends, you get your bid and you start following girls who you know are going to Alabama the next year. So they have a
Oh,
top list.
oh my God. So
And
wait, I
go
okay,
ahead.
keep no, keep
Oh, go
going.
ahead. Oh, okay. So it's basically they start looking at like GPAs and who you know and like your appearance, and they create a top list. So then when you're going through Rush Workshop, you sit in the basement for hours a day and you scream, Alyssa, Shoner, New Jersey. And there's a slideshow up top with your picture on it, your major, where you're from, who you know in the sorority, and what your GPA is.
And then they talk about you like while
Yeah.
you're
Mhm.
okay.
They'll be like, oh, she's cute. Or like if like it's a girl who's like not that cute, like it'll get really awkward in the room. Like no one will like really say like if you're cute or not. It's really weird and like superficial.
So seeing, not to get off topic, I don't know if this is off topic, but when you see like all of this, like the TikToks going around that are going viral, do you think that the people on the other side of Rush, like the actives, are they like looking at those and like deciding who to
Oh, absolutely. Like that's my thing. Like looking at it, I'm like so like scared for some of these girls that are going viral because a lot of the traditional like Southern sororities, they don't want a girl that's on social media. That's like a PR risk.
Oh, because if they
So,
post anything bad.
mhm. I remember a few years ago, there was this one girl and she posted, it was the night before bid day. She had all top houses on her card. The night before bid day, she posted something on her Instagram story that was like super scandalous. And every single house she had on her prep, like didn't give her a bid. And she had to get like a snap bid from like a separate house.
Yeah, because I've also seen people on TikTok saying like they were crying and that they hated like rushing, blah blah blah, or like whatever. And I was thinking like, wouldn't that be a PR risk too if they're already complaining about
Yeah. If you're
like
already complaining about like the Greek life system, you're probably going to get dropped from like the top quote unquote top houses.
yeah, because even at OU where I went, like they were still stalking like social media, but like I feel like in Alabama, like no one was, I don't even know. No one back then, it wasn't like no one was really like posting about because no one really knew. I feel
Mhm.
like now there's more like all the info is to the public. Like I had no idea what was going on when I was rushing. And
Yeah.
I had to keep Googling like what actually is like my roommates convinced me to rush in the first place. And I remember like Googling like what are you supposed to talk about? And it was like charity. Like I didn't even know anything. But now I'm like, I had no idea. And I got dirty rushed, which I didn't know I did, but I did. I got dirty rushed when like these girls like told me to be in their sorority and I believe them. But
Oh,
now I
yeah,
think that would fly, right?
all the
That's not
time.
allowed.
Yeah. So you talked about charity. So that's the second round is like philanthropy. So this is where the sororities are going to tell you about like their like philanthropy, what it is, whatever. That's where they're wearing like the t-shirts and the cute shorts with the earrings that you see all over the TikTok pages. That's like your philanthropy round. The top houses, I'd like quote unquote top houses. I don't think there's such thing as a top house, but whatever. They already know who's getting invited back for sisterhood during philanthropy too. There are things where like you have rush crushes, so they'll overlook like a GPA or something if like a girl in the house is really vouching for you. But those houses pretty much know who they want on their bid list at the end of the week. So when
Okay.
you see like all these TikToks explaining Rush and they're saying mutual selection, there's only a handful of girls that go through Rush that actually get a say on what house they go back to, because this is how it works when you rank the house. So after Ice Water Teas, I think when I was there were 16 sororities that were doing Rush. So I ranked all my houses 1 through 16, and I would drop 4 of them, but I would still put them in order of like my favorite to least favorite. So if all my top 12 invited me back, I got to go to my top 12. But say my 12th one was 80 Pie and my 13th one was AO Pie. If 80 Pie drops me, AO Pie slips into that place.
Okay. So do you feel like you did have a say at all? Like do you think the order that you put it in mattered at all?
I would say so. I had a pretty full card my philanthropy round, and so philanthropy round you go from 12 to 8, and then you go from 8 to 3. So I would say during my 8 to 3, because I had a full card my sisterhood round where you had 8 houses, I would say 8 to 3, I did get a say on who I was going back to just because all 8 were inviting me back. But say some girl has 4 houses for sisterhood because she was dropped by the other, 12 houses, and she really wanted, XYZ, and XYZ drops her, then she's going to get that one house that she didn't want back on her pref card.
Okay. And then do you think that do they still go through with it and just join the sorority even if they didn't want to be in that one? Or do you feel like a
Yeah.
lot
So when I went through Rush, we prefed 3 houses. Now they brought it down to 2 because I think they realized most people who got their third choice ended up dropping. And I ended up getting my third choice, which was seen as like a top house on campus. My other 2 were like seen as not top. So,
okay.
but I ended up hating it, but I still like went there. Like I opened the card and I looked at my row and I was just like, what the fuck? Because I had told them too. I was like, I really don't think I wanted to be an alpha phi. Like that was like what I wanted to be when I was a senior in high school, like going through Rush. Cause a lot of girls from Jersey go alpha phi. And I had looked at the sorority I ended up being in during pref. That's the one round where you get to tell them if you want to be there or not. So I looked at the girl and I was like, I just really don't feel it here. And they ended up my Rokai says they ended up putting me higher on their bid list. So the computer like automatically like matched me with them.
And you had even told them that you didn't want to be there.
Yeah. So going into it, like running to the house, I was already like kind of like had a sour taste in my mouth because I was like, I really like didn't want, like, this is the one house on my card that I didn't want.
Okay. So how long did you stay in for?
2 years.
Oh my God. Do you feel like it ended up, everyone always says like trust the system, like trust or the process or whatever it is. Do you feel like, I feel like I'm interviewing you about this, but I'm actually so interested. Do you feel like it was like where you're supposed to be, or do you think you would have done better in a different sorority?
All my friends ended up being in like the other 2 sororities I had on my card that were above the sorority I ended up being in. So honestly, like I don't talk to a single girl really that was in my sorority anymore.
Yeah, me either. I feel like people keep in my DMs, they're saying, do you recommend rushing? Do you recommend rushing? And I say, yeah, just because I am glad I can relate to these stories and like I understand what it was like.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like a fun process, honestly. It's kind of like fun to go through,
Yeah.
but if it's like emotionally taxing you, and like there are a lot of people that are like crying on TikTok and like
Yeah.
so depressed. I feel like
At
if
a
it's
lot of SEC schools, if a girl is like completely dropped from Rush, the RAs in their dorm, they get a notification sent to them being like, you need to like check on like a mental health check on like this girl. Because a lot of girls, especially the ones that grew up like in Alabama, and it was like my mom was a Tridel at Alabama, or my mom was a Chi-O at Alabama. They want to be a Tridel or they want to be a Chi-O. So if they get dropped from those houses, even though they're legacies, they will literally like lose their mind because their whole life they were like, I want to be what my mom was here and my grandma was here.
I think that yeah, and I can't even imagine like just growing up with all of your legacies and then not even getting into that sorority. And I think that an important thing to remember though is that like, does your sorority matter to you today? Because mine doesn't matter to me at all
Not
today.
at
So
all.
like, it seems like the biggest deal in the world at the time, and it's okay to be upset and like that's valid because it's like you're trained your whole life to be a sorority girl. But if it doesn't work out for you, I really think it won't matter in like like 3 years even. Like
Yeah.
you're gonna be fine no matter what. Like I swear to God, that's what I want
No,
to say to.
it's like a super like superficial process too. Like when I went in it as an active, I was like, damn, like they talked about like me like this like a year ago. Like our top girls got sat in couches and our everyone else got sat in a chair. So one day during Rush, I think it was the first round, I did not give a fuck about Rush. I was just there because you get fined thousands of dollars if you don't go. So I was there doing what I just had to fucking do. And I guess the way the line works, so every girl's assigned, we get a list of who's coming into the party. And every single one of us is assigned who we're talking to. And there are people whose main job during Rush is to sit in the basement and match girls up with people they have something in common with. So when I went through Rush, the girls I talked to were all competitive dancers from the Northeast because I was a competitive dancer in New Jersey. So they specifically match you up with certain people. Our pickup line got somehow messed up and I ended up picking up like a top from Kentucky, but I didn't know she was a top because I didn't fucking pay attention to the fucking PowerPoint because I didn't fucking care. So I pick her up and I sit her in a regular chair because I wasn't supposed to have a top that round. And after the party, some girl comes up to me and goes, you picked up so-and-so from Kentucky and you sat her in a regular chair. I was like, what the fucking do? Like, sorry, she's not on a fucking couch. Like, it's a superficial process.
It's literally none of it means a single thing. It's all fake. Like especially, it's just so sad because
It really is. And like, your personality could carry you through. I think mine, like my ability to just talk to people and relate to people, I think it really did carry me through because I had no connections or recommendations. But in like for most people, they're just looking at whatever image you created for them on your social media and your like application, quote unquote. And they're basing like if they want you or not based off of that.
yeah, and all of it is literally surface level. Like some people in the top houses have like the worst personality. I know firsthand they have like the worst personalities and the most boring girls. I really think like the middle sororities are like the most fun. Like that's where you kind of want to be because
Yeah,
those
that's
girls.
what I had on my card. Like the first 2 that I prefed, those were like kind of middle ones who were just known for like being like really fun, like hot girls. And they weren't seen on campus as like top because an Alabama top is different than a West Coast top. Like the top in Alabama is like your old Southern sororities with high GPAs and like old family money. You know what I mean?
But those ones aren't fun. Like those girls are like the worst girls. Like
I will
not
say the sorority I ended up being like they did like party and they were fun. And my pledge class ended up being like a super like cute, fun pledge class. But the house as a whole, like I just don't think I fit in there at all.
yeah, I just feel like I don't even know. I really hope that girls going through it don't actually need suicide watch because it means nothing. And like the friend, I have one friend that I still talk to from my sorority. So like
I don't have any. And when I dropped, they all ostracized me. And Becca could attest, we were at a bar once and a bunch of them were there and they came up to me like they literally ostracized me because I dropped the sorority and started like talking shit about it. And then once they graduated, Becca saw them come up to me like, we were so happy when you did that. Like, we hated it too. They just like, I don't know.
yeah, dropping is like seen as so when you're like a freshman or even sophomore, it's seen
Yeah.
as really taboo. Like if you drop, like you get made fun of. That's why
Mhm.
I didn't drop until junior year, maybe even senior, maybe the beginning of senior year. But I lived in the house for 2 years and I only had one friend the entire time.
Yeah.
One. And I lived in the house. So I don't even know. Like I don't it's just such a fake process, but I understand why people go through it though. I
No, I
understand.
do too. I think everyone, if you want to experience it, I think you should because I think you'll regret not being able to experience it. Because I think when you look on the outside at these sorority girls, you're like, that looks so fun, like that looks so cool. Like, and if you don't go through it, you're gonna regret it and you're always gonna look at it like that. But since I went through it, I look at it and I'm like, damn, like seeing like current sorority girls make those fun TikToks, I'm like, I know they're being forced to make those and I know they're not having fun. Like I know they're all miserable being in a house for 12 hours.
Yeah, you're not even getting paid. It's literally unpaid labor. Like sitting in
And
a
you pay 4K a semester to be in these sororities.
you're literally paying to get like bullied a little bit by like exec. They like scream at you the entire time. Like every week you have to go to the chapter and it's so awful. Like actually the worst.
No, I know.
Beginning right after you like join your sorority, going to chapter is like so awkward because you don't know who to sit with. Ugh.
It's I used to get so much anxiety. Like,
I would skip every week because but then when you skip so much, you like start feeling so behind. It's like skipping a class. Like you really don't know anyone in
yeah,
the chapter. So like it's almost like you have to force yourself to go, but like you never know who to sit with. I don't even know.
yeah,
That stuff actually like weighs on me to this day. Like I still feel the anxiety. I'm not even kidding.
same.
Yeah, being in a sorority.
Do
But
you have any other questions about it?
what?
Do you have any other questions about it that you want me to answer?
Well, I get to be one. I have a question about when we go because we're going to one of the games, right? What are we
Oh,
doing?
yeah, that's another thing. So Becca's over here watching fucking Alabama Rush TikTok every
Love it.
day. And I text her, I'm like, do you want to come to Tuscaloosa for the Ole Miss game with me? Like the first weekend of October. And she was so happy. She's like, I want to be an Alabama sorority girl. So we're gonna go. We're gonna dress in our game day outfits. I already have mine picked out.
What do
Um,
you wear? And
I'm
what's
wearing
the
a
theme?
cute white dress and red booties.
Oh my god, that's what I want to wear too. Okay, perfect.
Oh my god, we could match.
Yeah, everyone
And
already hates
we'll
me.
get you could wear. Oh my god, Becca, you were a Gamma Phi.
Yeah.
My
Wait.
sister's a Gamma Phi, so she can give you a game day pin.
Okay, perfect. Don't tell Gamma Phi. I was like, have I talked shit about Gamma Phi in this episode? But whatever. What are they gonna do? But do they
Yeah,
wear the things like the
it
pins?
says like their letters and it says hearts the tide.
Okay, I am not on good terms with the sorority though, so I
It's
don't know.
okay. No one will.
But anyway, don't you have to work today? Or
Yeah, yeah, in
okay.
like 10 minutes. So we should wrap it up soon.
Well, are you excited to move in to Nashville?
I am, guys. We move in like 2 weeks.
I'm literally telling everyone that I'm moving there. Well, you're not even gonna be there when I go, are
Yeah,
you?
I move in like 4 days after you.
So what am I gonna do in my apartment all by myself?
Dude, I don't know.
Why do you? Why are you gonna
If you
take?
get lonely, you can come to my parents' house. It's like 2.5 hours away.
Oh, are you gonna be there?
Hmm.
I feel like I'm gonna try to make friends while I'm there for like the 4 days.
Yeah.
But who? I don't. I only know like the workers at Tin Roof.
Yeah, we don't know anyone.
The intern even moved away.
I know.
I was actually so sad when she told me that. Our intern at TFM moved.
Yeah, she was really cool.
She was like our only friend there.
Literally.
So if you live in Nashville or if you know anyone that lives in Nashville, please tell us.
Yeah, tell them to DM us.
and we can go out because we only know each other.
Yeah, that's it.
So this week by myself when I'm there. We still don't even we need to like figure out how we're gonna decorate it.
We do. We'll make a vlog about it.
A vlog. Yeah, good idea.
A vlog for everyone.
Guys, we're starting YouTube channels. So we're gonna be able to, especially living together, we're gonna be together all the time.
Yeah. It's gonna be, we're gonna produce so much content together.
I know, dude. I do nothing now. Like I don't even know, like, I don't know. You're so lucky that you work in a bar.
I know. It is pretty fun.
And all the celebs come there.
Yeah, a lot of cool people come in there.
Like people from The Bachelor.
All right. On that note, this was our first mini episode. We'll have another mini episode next week, and then hopefully we'll be in the recording studio by the time like school starts up for everyone. We can get into like a routine of putting episodes out consistently. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Becca Moore, Alyssa Schoner, and follow the podcast. So I was like pod, because when we reach 10K, we're gonna start releasing merch, and that's where you'll find like all the merch and stuff. So yeah.
And tell us what you want us to talk about next week.
Yeah. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.